Hello, everyone. So, as the title says, I'm going to be spending a little bit less time on Twitch. Not streaming, not speedrunning, just a little bit less time on Twitch. And the title of the video is like 5% clickbait because it's really just one day. The reason I'm going to be spending a little bit less time on Twitch is just there's just a lot of things about Twitch going on right now that has me feeling uncomfortable about my future. You know, now I already made a video about this where I was announcing I'm going to be doing like the weekly YouTube live streams. And in this video, this is from December of 2022. In this video, I talked about some things that they were doing. You know, not much has changed since then. The bullet points of the video were basically, it's a lot harder for a streamer to make a full-time living on Twitch specifically, due to how little they pay their creators. They have a lot of tools in place, like the website is good, everything's good. It's the way you earn your living is becoming a little bit tougher. And big reason is because when you receive a subscription on Twitch, it's pretty much $5. You get 50% of that, and Twitch gets the other 50%. But on top of that, they introduced like a regional pricing thing where instead of making 50% off of $5, you're making 50% off of $5 in other currencies that, when it's translated over to US dollars, is less than $5. So per $5 sub, or per tier 1 sub, I'm averaging about $1.99, maybe $2 per sub. So that's been kind of tough. And also, it's not just that. Again, I already made a video going over all this, but it's all the ads they're forcing us to run. You know, my offer this month is either 3, 4, or 6 minutes of ads per hour. Will pay you this much. But before I get into that one, there's also just some things going on. Let me show another one of them. This was the one that just kind of, I feel like it just sank everybody's hearts. And I showed this off again in the video, but I'm going to put the link for this one in a pinned comment so you can not read the blog post, but read people's reactions to it. This is something I've kind of never, ever forgotten. It's from September of last year, so it's somewhat, I don't know, it was like 6 months ago, 5 months ago. So you could call it recent, but it's something that I just never, ever really got out of my mind. I've never seen just an overwhelming, unanimous, just resounding sadness and disappointment over this. When this came out, people thought like, oh, they're going to offer 70-30 to everyone now. This is great. But instead, they just announced they're getting rid of 70-30, and anyone who already had 70-30 is going back down to 50-50 after they accumulate $100,000 of revenue. And when the reason why is because they tell us we're in this together, and to this day, I've never forgotten the resounding sadness and disappointment from everybody. You know, just reading some of these comments and everything. What a mess from some of the biggest content creators in the world. There was one by, probably won't be able to find it. Yeah, from Linkus, who's a Zelda speedrunner. Yeah, this one. The issue isn't the biggest streamer make less money now. They're taking away the cut for no reason. If they said going 50-50 at 100K will allow us to offer a 70-30 to smaller creators, I would be all for it. They're just raising profits for Amazon. They did all this for no reason. Now, this hasn't been implemented yet. This is going to be implemented, I think they said, in June. But regardless, again, I'm going to, and you can even read the quote retweets. It's just basically my colleagues, my streamer colleagues. I've never seen a more resounding, unanimous sadness and disappointment. And it's something that I have not forgotten. But I recommend you read like the rest of these comments and the quote retweets and stuff. It's just sad. And if you didn't read the blog post, it's here as well. Oh, here's my favorite. Why not 70-30? When we first established a 50, it was a signal that we're in this together. You do the amazing work. A bunch of corporate Amazon bullshit. That's what it is. But if this wasn't bad enough, there's some other things that have been coming out about Twitch as well. First of all, again, now we're getting more recent. They had to lay off 400 employees. Now, I think this had more to do with those Amazon layoffs because, again, if you live under a rock, Twitch is owned by Amazon. And we know how Amazon can be. Everybody uses it. It's profitable, but they're greedy. And that's definitely seeped into Twitch as well. They had to lay off 400 Twitch employees. Now, whether that was because of Twitch or because of Amazon, I don't know. I think it was Amazon and it seeped over into Twitch. And a lot of them, I think, were hired during COVID, and now it's not as big a deal anymore. It could be that. But also something that happened is their CEO, Emmett Shear, I think his name was, he stepped down. So they lost their CEO. I think the Twitch president also took over that role. His name's Dan Clancy. So you got layoffs, you got the CEO leaving, you got this still to this day leaving a bad taste in everyone's mouth. My revenue has gone down as a result of some of these things. And here's the kind of big one that only has taken effect 3 days ago. They changed the ads incentive program. As you know, the ads program is run like I mentioned. You get offers. You can do 3 minutes of ads per hour, 4 minutes of ads per hour, 6 minutes of ads per hour, and the money and stream for at least this many hours, and the amount you earn from it increases with each amount, and you know exactly how much you're going to make. They give you a fixed amount if you stream a certain number of hours and play these ads, which everyone loves a 3-minute break during a live stream. And the reason all these streamers have to play them is because Twitch is literally like, oh, you don't like how much you make from subs, which is your most reliable source of income on Twitch? Just run more ads. Yeah. I already talked about all this, but they changed it recently. Now, one thing I do like is the offers can be paused. Before you couldn't pause them. Now you can if you get like a big promotion coming up or like a front page thing and you don't want all the ads to run. You can pause it now, which is good. But here's the big one. They now no longer offer a fixed amount. It's now an estimate. So my offer this month, not only that, but the offers have gone down. That's something else I didn't mention. The offers have gone down. My highest offer back in like September or October of last year was like $2,000 to run these ads. That's a big amount. Now it's like $400. I don't think that was because of any diminishing viewership either. That could be because I've heard in like Q1 of the year, money made from advertising is down a bit, so that could be the reason why. But could you imagine having your revenue cut by $1,600 a month? Like, it's just weird. Anyway, I was talking about it's no longer a fixed amount. It's an estimate. So my offers this month are 3 minutes per hour, 4 minutes per hour, or 6 minutes per hour. The 6 minute per hour one, the estimate is you will make somewhere in between $300 and $1,000 per month. It even says in the post, sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. Like, well, which is it? It's bad enough that we're making $2 a sub, sometimes less. So which is it? And they're just like, oh, that's a surprise. Could you imagine if your consistent income varied by $700 a month? It's stupid. This is the first month that they're doing it, so I don't know what it's going to be. Is it going to be 300? Is it going to be 1,000? I have no fucking idea. So you put all of these things, and again, the big streamers on the site who have the 70-30 split are going back down to 50-50 after accumulating $100,000 of revenue. That hasn't been implemented yet. You can imagine the shitstorm that's coming when that is implemented, which I think is going to be in June, I think. It's rough out there, man. It's rough on this. It's rough being a Twitch streamer. Twitch is the best place to go for, I would say, like the most wholesome community and the creator tools. They are the best in that regard. but they are so corporate and Amazon-y. I'm just getting so sick of them. It's like, this isn't a game. This is my livelihood. I have decided to do this for a living. And the only reason we went with Twitch in the first place is because they were the only ones out there in October of 2014. This was all still new back then. But now there are some other options, which gets me to my next point. I don't want to give up Twitch completely. Again, I have an 8.5-year history on this site. I have people who have been with me from the very, very beginning, who have 75. This month will be 76-month resubs. There are only a few of them out there that have a streak going for that long. So I want to, I want to be respectful towards that commitment, because I do not take that for granted. You got to believe me on that. But at the same time, again, we have been introducing the YouTube live streams, which has been good for me. It's made up the difference of what I've been lacking on Twitch. And then some. My YouTube revenue month by month has gone up a little bit, to the point it's almost surpassing Twitch. Again, YouTube, it's not just the live streams, it's also the ad money I make from uploaded videos like this one. You know what, for fun, I'm going to run an ad right now. That's really awkward if an ad didn't play. But if it did, that's kind of how it works. I make money from that. So not all of the extra, and not all of my YouTube income is coming from the live streams, but a certain amount are. The memberships, the super chats, those are the main ones. But again, it's with the memberships, you get a 70-30 split. And it's just the little bit of extra revenue from something besides where my Twitch income comes from. It's nice. It's nice. And viewers have responded well to it, I think. Because there are people out there who just will not make a Twitch account because they either don't like the site or they're just more comfortable here on YouTube. So, back when I first started doing them, it was to, give them the live experience that they're missing out on, because records are way more fun when you watch them live. Just being able to interact, just a quick hello. It can be cool for someone who's never experienced that before. I remember that before I started streaming, that was always cool, doing that with my favorite streamers. They actually acknowledge you and say hi back. It's cool, So to give them the live experience they were missing out on. And, yeah, the response has been good. So what I want to do is up the frequency. Again, with the problems I have with Twitch, I want to up the frequency from 1 stream per week to 2 streams per week. Will I go beyond that? Maybe. I'm not exactly sure. Because I've gotten a lot more comfortable with YouTube. There was a lot of growing pains with it at first. I didn't like the way the chat looked. I didn't like the lack of certain integrations with Stream Deck or Streamlabs or whatever. But I've gotten past that, and I know what to expect now, almost 3 or 4 months later. I'm more comfortable. Not as comfortable as I am on Twitch, because, again, they have the better tools. But I'm pretty comfortable with YouTube now. I wasn't at the start, but I am now. And that brings me to my next point. YouTube isn't the only place I'm going to be streaming on it. Twitch and YouTube aren't the only ones I'm going to be streaming on as well. I'm also going to be trying out a new platform. You've probably heard of this one. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Called Kick. And I'll just show it to you briefly. It is literally brand new. They launched in October and are still in beta. It is very, very Twitch-like. Now, apparently, supposedly, it's not just copied over. It's its own unique code, like coding, so they're not going to get sued for it looking similar. But yeah, I've set everything up. I've already done 1 stream on it. It went well. I'll go into the specifics of that stream in a bit, but the reason I'm a little hesitant with the not switch. I'll explain what I'm doing in a second, but Kick is so early. There are some growing pains with it. They are well, first of all, they're owned by a gambling site called Stake, Stake. And a big reason for this site's existence is because Twitch banned not gambling, but specifically stake gambling. And so I think this was made out of. I think they were planning on doing this the whole time, but because they kind of pissed them off, they they went through with their plans a little bit early. But also, the reason Kick is a little sketchy right now, it's mainly like the streamers they promote and their TOS. They don't have much of a TOS right now. Again, part of it could be early. A lot of the streamers on the site right now are like banned Twitch streamers, and well, let's be real. Like there's video gaming content out there, but if you browse for other channels, you're going to find a lot of nudity and gambling. Those are the two main things you're going to find on here. Now, Twitch doesn't have a clean conscience either. You know, you go digging on Twitch, you're going to find some weird things on there as well. And with regards to the gambling, I'm not a gambler. You know, I've been to Atlantic City a couple times. Quick story. When I was a lot younger, my dad's side of the family and I would go down and we'd all have Christmas at a place called Carmine's. It's an very upscale chain restaurant. My Uncle Sam worked security there. It's a beautiful restaurant. We would do that every Christmas Eve. And I was a lot younger. So as I was approaching, and my family members would gamble at the casinos a little bit before dinner, and I wasn't allowed on the floor because I was underage. But when I was getting close enough to be able to gamble for the first time, my uncle passed away. This was 9 years ago, so it was a long time ago. But actually, I think it was longer. I'm trying to think now. I remember I was in college. So, yeah, I was of age. He got sick a little bit before then. It was cancer that got him. And he was always like the pinnacle of health, too. But right around the time I was like legally allowed to gamble, you know, he passes away. And after that, we didn't really go down to Atlantic City much. He was kind of the reason we went down. We would get a big discount on the dinner and stuff. But yeah, it was a pretty big sadness in the family when that happened. So we just kind of stopped doing that. But then when I turned 21, my siblings surprised me with a trip to Atlantic City. 2 days of gambling, we'd leave on the third day. We wouldn't gamble much. You know, it was pretty much my first time gambling. We're through with one night there. We wake up the second day. We get a call. My Aunt Lenore passed away. Those are really the only two losses I've ever experienced. Well, my grandparents, but I was really young. When I'm older, now that I'm older, those are really the only two like losses either side of our family has had. So it's just, there's this weird omen I have with gambling. It just never. I also have some relatives and family members whose lives have been completely ruined by gambling. So with regards to the gambling side of Kick, I have no interest in it. Not that I'll never gamble in my life, you know, quick slot machine here and there, blackjack or whatever. But I'm not a gambler. I've seen what it can do to people, and just my own personal experience with being able to do it hasn't been good. So I'm not really like, you know, pro gambling, but it's one of those things. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean you won't like it. I'm not, you know, what's the word? Ignorant enough to say just because I don't like it, that means you shouldn't be able to do it. I'm not really like that, you know. But yeah, that's one thing. But at the same time, you know, with Twitch, I have a story about Twitch. You know, it's owned by Amazon. Everything's owned by something else. It's not just the website on its own. Kick is owned by Stake. Amazon is owned, or Twitch is owned by Amazon. Facebook gaming is owned by Meta. Mixer was owned by Microsoft. You know, a site is owned by somebody else. But you know how, like, you hear these stories. There was the Amazon layoffs. You hear about these working conditions in these factories. my brother's old karate teacher, he was very close with our family. But when his school closed, I don't think it was because of COVID. I think he moved and it didn't do as well. But he had to get a job as an Amazon worker to make ends meet. Last I remember, he got seriously injured in one of the factories, and Amazon fought tooth and nail to make sure that they didn't cover him. Making any claim possible. Oh, it technically wasn't on company grounds, and I don't know how he's doing now, but that's the last I heard of him, and it seems like a sad situation. But you hear stories about that all the time. Basically, the point of what I'm saying is there's a lot of stuff on Kick right now that's very sketchy. Who they bring over, who they decide to promote. There's some banned Twitch streamers on there. Streams you'll see on Kick probably wouldn't be allowed on Twitch, stuff like that. But that being said, where was I getting with this? Their way of making money is similar to Twitch. They don't have bits. They don't even have ads. They don't even have alerts. But they do have subscriptions, $5 subscriptions. Their cut is 95%. Now, is it always going to be like this? I hope so. They said it is, but I don't know. I do not know. They've kind of convinced us that it's always going to stay like that. So I did a stream on there last Saturday, and it went pretty well. I got like 40 or 50 people. The reason the viewership wasn't higher is because, here, look at this. I used a program called Restream. Now, Restream, you connect it to OBS, and what it does is it streams on both platforms. On 2 or 3, you can set up as many. If you want more than 2, you have to pay for it. But you can stream on 2 platforms at the same time. Now, the reason I don't do that with Twitch is because we are contractually obliged to only stream on Twitch. They got rid of the exclusivity like a year ago. So you can stream on other sites, but you cannot stream on another site at the same time as your Twitch streams, as long as you're a Twitch partner. So when I stream live on Twitch, Twitch is the only place I can be. The other days, I can be wherever. So what I did, as to not, maybe potentially upset too many people, is I streamed on YouTube and Kick at the same time. And the experience was pretty good. People who liked YouTube, again, I mentioned a lot of people on YouTube only like YouTube. They don't like making accounts for other places. And that's where pretty much the only place I upload any pre-recorded stuff, because YouTube is king in that regard. So it makes sense to do YouTube. But I wanted to, learn a little bit more about Kick. I've been doing a lot of research. Again, they're very early. If you think they're sketchy, it's mainly because they're early. They only launched in October. So on Saturday, we did a restream on YouTube and Kick at the same time, and it went very well. It went very, very well. Now, I couldn't even receive subscriptions because it was my first stream. I needed 75 follows, and I needed to stream for 5 hours to be able to receive subscriptions, and I did. But what was cool, when I got towards the end of stream and I reached the requirements, one of the founders of Kick actually came into my channel and helped me set everything up. We talked a little bit about things that I think the site is lacking, and he told us they're working on it, but he showed me workarounds that they have in place right now, like a transparent chat on screen, and he got my account verified. He helped me through setting up subscriptions, and I know Pigeon gifted like 10 subs when I was offline. One of my tier 3 subs on Twitch, Kieran's, gifted me like 20 subs on Kick, and I got to see the revenue. It's real. There's something about Kick that I don't 100% trust right now. I'm just being honest. There's something about it I don't trust right now. If you know how it is. If something is too good to be true, it usually isn't. You know. But the way it is right now, I got to see the revenue from a Kick subscription. And at least right now, it's real. It's real. I'm making $4.55 per sub versus about 2 on Twitch. And it offers the same thing. It's going to offer a badge, which I have to upload still, and the emotes that you're used to seeing in my YouTube and Twitch streams. So the perks are pretty much the same. With regards to ad-free viewing, they're so early they don't even have ads. And the main question is, well, how does Kick make their money? At the moment, they're operating at a loss, but as they go forward, they want to bring on advertisers and other money-making ways. But, you know, a lot of us, like myself, are just kind of looking for an alternative to Twitch because of the things I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Because, like I said, it's just tough out there. My revenue's going down month after month after month. So what am I saying? Yeah. I'm not doing away with Twitch entirely. I don't think that's the right move here. I really don't, because it's where I got my start. But I am kind of preparing just in case something happens with Twitch. Because if anyone remembers Mixer, what happened is they signed a bunch of streamers hoping everybody would come over there and use that site exclusively, when in reality, they just ended up not making money and they were gone by a year. It could very well happen to Kick. So for the moment, I'm not moving over there exclusively. With how early and new and somewhat sketchy they are right now, that is not the play. I'm logical enough to see that. But what I am going to do, going forward, if I stream 5 days a week, 3 of them will be on Twitch, 2 of them will be on YouTube and Kick at the same time. If I stream 6 days a week, 4 of them will be on Twitch, 2 of them will be on YouTube and Kick at the same time. Again, Twitch has the exclusivity, so I can't do multiple platforms at the same time. But on the YouTube days, since I'm not contractually locked in, I can do both at the same time, and it's very, very easy and convenient. The main difficult thing is having 2 chats up at the same time. But the overall streaming experience is, it's not bad. Again, it's very Twitch-like. Here's my past broadcast. They have the past broadcast here as well. I accidentally flipped something off. Yeah, I remember I was trying to learn how Restream works, so I accidentally went like this, and it closed the stream for a second. So, but yeah, it has clips which don't work as well, but they're still there, and you got the chat on the right, which is again very similar to Twitch. The one cool thing you can do, let me see if it works here. You can actually react to it kind of like a Discord. You know how you see, you know, you can react to someone's post in a Discord. It kind of works the same way. So, yeah, and again, one of the founders came over. He got me verified that it's me. You know, they're so early, they don't even have a partnership program, only affiliate. If you want to become an affiliate and receive subscriptions on Kick, you only need 75 follows and stream for 5 hours. That's it. But again, they're too early, and they promote some sketchy people and activities that I can't fully endorse them yet. But I have to think of I need to think of myself a little bit here. And if you ask other people who were in the Kick chat, it's almost identical. They only released their apps for Android and Apple like a week ago. It's all brand new, up and coming. And this is going to be a main competitor to Twitch. But I like the fact that one of the founders, you know, came in, helped me set everything up, spent about 45 minutes in there. It was a good kind of first impression. But also, again, if I were to receive, like, I have, how many Twitch subs do I have right now? I've been making a lot of videos lately, so I haven't been streaming as much. 624. If I have a good month, I can get that up to 700 if I stream a lot more. let's say 700. If I got that many on Kick, I would be more than doubling my income. While also keeping the viewing experience the same for anyone who's normally on Twitch. So I feel like I'm talking too much. I'm not switching, okay? It would kind of take a lot for me to switch from Twitch, despite how kind of scummy they've been lately with regards to treating creators. I'm not going to switch altogether because, again, I have my history there. I know it's a very comfortable site to use. I know how everything works. It's where I spent the most time there. It worked really, 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 really hard to get that partner badge and everything 7 years ago. So I'm not switching, but I'm still in the process of sampling other platforms, and Kick seems to be a very interesting one. So this was a very long 31 minutes to say I'm upping my YouTube streams from 1 day a week to 2 days a week, and also including Kick on there at the same time. I would appreciate it very much if you gave the site a try. I wouldn't necessarily recommend going and finding other streamers on the site right now. Again, it's a little bit of Sketch City. But that doesn't mean, like, when I stream on there, I'm going to be acting or behaving differently. I'm still going to be doing my thing. Speedruns, practice, behaving the same. I'm not going there so I can become not safe for work. I'm still going to be me. And we will still enforce our own personal rules. I've always said I never viewed my community as a Twitch community. That was just always where I streamed. I view my community as my community, the Ant Colony. That's what we always call ourselves. So, no matter where we end up, no matter who comes in, I want people to feel comfortable but also expect people to act a certain way. Me streaming on a platform that still could use a bit of work right now, that doesn't change our own personal rules. Okay, so just know wherever I end up, you'll still be and feel safe while you're there. Okay, and I just got to tell you, that's the most important thing. But again, to also let you know, a Kick subscription, just in terms of how much money I make from it, goes a lot further than a Twitch sub. A lot further. Because I've already seen it. And it's something. So of course I would appreciate it if you download the app, give it a look. If you prefer here's the thing. If you prefer my Twitch streams over my YouTube streams, Kick is another place to go while I do the YouTube streams. It's really the best way I can word it right now, and is probably the most I'm willing to do right now. Don't worry. Overnight, I'm not going to be, hey, everyone, just make a new account and everybody move over there. Twitch is dead. I can't, in good conscience, I can't do that. I have a little bit of loyalty to the site still. Not even contractually, just really in here, I guess. I don't know. Appreciation for just them being the first and being the origins of my career and stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. It also might be a good idea to be comfortable with the site early on, because, and this is just a prediction, we can come back here if this actually happens. I expect an absolute shitstorm at Twitch if they actually go through with lowering the subcut of the biggest streamers on the site. That hasn't happened yet. And in a couple months, maybe 2.5 months, I think it is going to happen. I want to be comfortable with other platforms when it does. So yeah. That's about it. I will see you guys on Twitch for a majority of time during the week, and on YouTube and Kick at the same time, on preferably Fridays and Saturdays. So yeah, I will see you guys. Bye.